Hi, everyone. My name's Irene. Welcome to the information session. We're excited to have you all join us to learn a little bit more about this course. I work at Rice Global. I'm the Global Program Specialist, so I work with organizing all the student programs. And as you all know, Dr. D is here. She's going to be one of the co-professors in this course. So she'll give us information about the course itself, but we'll also talk about the program in general. We'll do some introductions and then show a slideshow and then have a Q&A session at the end. Since I just introduced myself, I'll go ahead and let Dr. D introduce herself and then we'll go from there.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. If you do want to turn your cameras on, it'd be great to see your faces, but no worries if you can't right now. So I'm Dr. D. I'm an assistant professor in Earth, Environmental, and Planetary Sciences, and I'm really excited to talk more with you about this course in Paris this summer.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And if there are questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will get to them at the end when we have our Q&A session. Okay, so can everyone see my screen? All right. Yes. Okay. So the course, as you all probably know, is called Climate Change Economics and the Wine Industry. It is for Paris Session 1, so it's going to be the first course that we'll be doing in Paris this upcoming summer from May 6th to the 24th. It is part of EAPS, so you'll get a credit for that. So we'll go ahead and move on to the course specific details. I can tell you guys this part of it, but then I'll have Dr. D talk a little bit more about the course itself. So it is a 3-credit-hour course. Dr. D is the lead instructor, but she'll be in collaboration with the other instructors listed here. This course is open to students in interested in applying quantitative methods spanning earth and environmental sciences, computer science, and economics to climate change adaptation problems. The class is open to students from all majors who've taken at least one programming course, so that is like a prerequisite for it. But there's going to be priority given to the majors listed here. And I think, Dr. D, if you can talk a little bit more about the course itself, I think that would be helpful right now, and then we can move on to program details.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's going to be 6 themes in the course explored in 3-day blocks, and I'm co-teaching this class with faculty in Paris who are in economics, and then faculty from Rice, as you can see, who are earth scientists and bioscientists and even electrical and computer engineering faculty. And the reason for that is we're doing a highly interdisciplinary exploration of climate change impacts on the wine industry. So the first theme is going to be a historical overview of viticulture history, climate and environment, and how wine was produced over the last 1,000 years. We're then going to talk about how bedrock geology, soil and mineralogy, or biogeochemistry, and how the soil conditions give rise to productive grapes and quality. In that section of the class, we're going to learn a lot of geospatial mapping tools. So you'll be using Python and another mapping tool called ArcGIS to plot different soil and grape varieties over time. Then we're going to talk about climate change risks to wineries. So I'm going to teach you all how to use climate models and projections. So things like temperature changes and rainfall changes, where they're occurring in space and time, and how that threatens wine production. The next theme after that will be the economic impacts. So my colleague who works at a business school in Paris, Dr. Matthew Yaton, will teach you all about the economic system through which wine is traded and sold within France. And in that section, we're really going to ask you to make a business plan to try to help winemakers mitigate the effects of climate change. Finally, this is sort of part of the capstone project. We're going to, in combination with the ECE professor, Dr. Balakrishnan, we're going to use machine learning to connect soil type, grape type, climate change, all of the different factors that are going to affect winemaking in the future. And we're going to use basically a machine learning algorithm to make a predictive model of which grapes are going to be the most successful where in the future. So the idea behind this is that we want to help winemakers across Europe or even globally have an advanced predictive model of how climate change will change their markets. So in the last 3 days of the class, you'll be working in small teams to try to create these business plans and predictive models of how we need to adapt to climate change in this industry. There will also be 2 field trips to wineries nearby where we'll be talking with the winemakers about how climate change has already started to affect their crops and their production and the tastes and flavors that they're getting. So if you're interested in environmental or earth science or climate, if you're interested in doing applied computer science or data science, all of those are great ways to approach this. If you're interested in sort of environmental economics, we welcome that. And really, if this is just an interesting topic to you and you'd like to learn more about how we solve environmental problems, how we prepare for the future, we'd love to have you in the class.
Yep. So perfect. So now we're just going to talk a little bit about the program itself. It will be taking place in Paris at the Rice Global Paris Center. So that's already a big perk, which is exciting. The dates are set from May 6th through the 24th. The way that we have our residences set up is that you will be arriving the day prior. So it would be that Sunday, May 5th, and then you'd have to depart the residences by the 25th, the day right after the last day of the course. But you're welcome to stay in Paris and explore before or after the course itself. Like we talked about already, it is open to any Rice undergraduate student who has taken at least one programming course. And then as far as the cost for this program is $1,200 per credit hour, which is, since it's 3 credit hours, is a total of $3,600 for tuition. Plus you do have to provide the cost for your travel to Paris and living expenses for 3 weeks, which we've estimated at $1,000 to $1,500. It really depends on how you want to manage your money. If you want to go out and eat every night, or our residences do provide a kitchen, so you can also save money that way by purchasing your own food and cooking it at home. What's covered? So the program will provide housing for all 3 weeks that you're there. We'll provide local travel costs. So, going to and from the residences to Rice Global Paris Center, any course, set excursions, tickets, and travel for that is covered. So if we're going to the vineyards, that will be covered by the course. And then we will also be providing 3 group meals as well as travel insurance. What's not covered is the airfare to Paris. Any passport fees. If you don't have a passport, you're going to have to get that before you do, or if your passport expires in 6 months while you're there in Paris, you'll have to renew it before you go. Any visa fees. So if you're an international student, so you have to check if you do require a visa to enter France. I can help you with that process, so you won't be going into it blind. I will provide information on that if you're accepted to the program. Rides to and from the airport, and any non-course planned travel that you want to do on your own, that's part of your own expenses. International phone plans and or SIM cards have to be provided by you, and any incidentals in those meals. Financial aid is, if you do qualify for financial aid, you may be able to qualify for financial aid for this. You have to check with the Office of Financial Aid directly about this. I can get you in touch with them and I can give you the information I have on this if you do get accepted, but basically it just depends if you've used any financial aid for summer tuition in the past or not, whether you would qualify for assistance. But I can help you with that process. It's really on a case-by-case basis, so I can't provide like the whole information on that right now. And then tuition assistance, Rice Global does provide tuition assistance. So if you think you'll be needing some assistance when you apply for this course, there's going to be a couple questions about tuition assistance or financial aid. We just need you to indicate that you need something there, and then we will follow up accordingly on that if you're accepted. But there is assistance for tuition and also for travel coming from our office, which is Rice Global. Just make sure to fill out that information on the application. And then just here's just a little information about the housing itself. So we do have 3 different residences in Paris. They're basically large buildings that have been turned into apartments. They're all located in the same neighborhood. So you all, even if you're staying at a separate housing, you would at least have somebody else from your program in the same housing as you. And they are all like from walking distance from each other. I actually stayed at one of them and they're really lovely. Everything feels very new. Each residence has their own individual fully furnished apartments, and each apartment has their own full bathroom with a shower, a kitchen area with plates, utensils. So you would have a place to cook, microwave, a fridge. Every apartment has their own table or desk area, and then a bed with linen and pillows provided. We'll also provide a towel, it feels like an Airbnb. Every residence has their own washer and dryer, so you wouldn't have to pay to go do your laundry. You would just have to get your own detergent and for that. And then each residence also has their own courtyard or garden space. So if you need to get outside while you're studying, there's going to be space for that. And this is just a quick to show you guys kind of what the commute would look like from the residences to the classroom. The class space is at the Rice Global Paris Center, which is in the 4th arrondissement, and the housing, all the residences are located in the 13th arrondissement. Basically, it's approximately a 30-minute journey from the housing to the center, but that's pretty common in Paris. You're going to be like, you basically, all these residences, you just walk a little bit to a metro station and it's a straight metro ride from once you get on the line. It's about, I think it's about 7 stops or so. And it really doesn't feel very long, but you do have to plan for that while you're taking courses, just to plan your time accordingly. But it's really nice. Everybody over there either walks or bikes or takes the metro. So it's pretty common, and that like immerses you in the experience of Paris. And just here's a few pictures of the neighborhood for the residences. It's really quiet. It's very safe. It's got all this street art and it just feels very French, and you really get to be part of Paris. And as you can see, here's the 13th arrondissement, and then the 4th is where Rice Global Paris Center is. So they're pretty close. And here's just some information about the Rice Global Paris Center. this is kind of just to show you guys what the classroom part of it would be. The space, we have our own courtyard. So if you do take a lunch, you can go eat outside. There's plenty of classroom space. It's a really beautiful building. Again, you will probably, it depends on Dr. D and her team, how they're gonna arrange class time. So we will let you know what that looks like before you start classes. Because some days you will be going to these vineyards and doing these type of outings for the course itself. And then just how to apply, you can just go to our website. I'll show you that in a second. So you can follow the QR code and it'll take you there. The deadline to apply will be January 26th. And then we'll hope to notify people on acceptance by the week of February 5th. I would say apply as early as possible because we'll be reviewing them as they come. But any decisions on financial assistance, tuition assistance won't be until after the official acceptance notifications in February. But that still gives you time to plan to see if this will work for you. So let me just show you guys the website. So that landing page goes to our main student page here. You just want to scroll down and find the course that you want, which is climate change. And then when you click the link itself to learn more, it'll give you again the information that we've just covered. And then if you still have questions, you can request information and send an email and I'll be happy to answer. Or if you want to apply, you just click apply now and it'll take you to the application page. With all the questions we're asking, again, for any, like I mentioned earlier, if you do want to ask about financial assistance, you need to let us know here and then we'll follow up accordingly from that. So that's it for me. I don't know if Dr. D, you have anything else you want to add or if we're ready to take questions.
No, just for those who came in late, I did send a little draft syllabus for the course in the chat. If you have questions specifically about, the programming stuff, etc., I'm happy to answer those now. It will be a very accelerated course, so things will move fast and we'll be covering a lot of content in a very condensed way. So yeah, but happy to answer any questions you might have.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do. I was wondering about the acceptance dates. So you said to apply as early as possible. So if we do apply like significantly before the deadline, would we hear back earlier or would everyone hear back at that February date, regardless of when they apply?
That's a good question. We need to make sure that we have the numbers for this so we can let you know. I think we'd have to wait till February 5th for the final numbers on that. So that's what I can say. Yeah. Does that make sense or no? It just helps though so if we are able to, we would send anything earlier, but I just at this point, I don't think we can announce any official acceptance until the week of February 5th. All right, we're getting some questions on the chat. Let me see.
So for the electives and distribution credits, the course is actually moving through the registrar's office right now because it is a brand new course. So I can't answer those questions, but in terms of econ elective, that would have to be taken up with the econ major advisor. So often the major advisors can substitute a course to count towards the major, but you need to petition them because there will be an economics part of the course. You could ask whoever the econ major advisor is to talk to me directly and we could hash it out and you could try to petition, like I said.
Carolyn?
Yeah, hi, thank you. Just a question with respect to like the programming requirement or recommendation. If we've taken like AP, like computer science, say during like high school, for example, and like received good grades in that course or have done like ancillary programs, like such as like a Coursera, like Python course. Is that still applicable?
Yeah, so I would just indicate that in the application. So if you're, I don't know, is AP Computer Science taught in Python? Or is it in some other language?
Yeah, it was Python.
Yeah, so I think that the major thing is we don't want students to be overwhelmed by the programming. Like, we're obviously going to teach you what to do and help you along the way. And everything will be done probably in like a Google Colab notebook where it's sort of easy to digest blocks of code. But for example, if a student had never done any programming before, it would be very difficult to do the class because of, again, the pace. It's not a programming class, so we do need there to be an expectation of having at least done some Python programming, having some familiarity with, you know, working in Python environments. But so like I said, if you've taken AP Computer Science and you've done some Coursera work and you feel confident that you'd be able to manage large data sets in Python with some assistance from the instructors, then I would encourage you to apply.
Awesome, thank you. And then just a quick note, John, like what is the overall class size that would be grouped into?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your question.
Apologies. What is the overall class size that would be with?
Yeah, it's 12 minimum, max will be 15. So it's not huge. Anything else? Well, if you guys do think of any other questions, feel free to email me at paracenter@rice.edu. You know, I'm happy to answer anything that is program related, or if it's course related, I'll pass it on to Dr. D and we can get an answer for you. You have to know English. Yeah. Oh, what language do you? Oh, sorry, Sylvia. I just thought that was you. Sorry. Never mind.
There's a question in the chat from Megan, and she asked if you have programming experience but not in Python, would that be an issue? Megan, again, it just depends if you can, like if you feel confident you could come into a course and like be fluent enough with programming to manage large data sets. I would consider, you know, trying to do some Python tutorials online ahead of time. If you've learned MATLAB or R, you know, they're usually pretty comparable. Something like Java, not so much. So it just depends what language you know.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, MATLAB and R specifically.
Yeah, so you should be
definitely.
fine. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but there are some key differences. But, you know, like, again, you'll be working in small teams with other students. So we just want to make sure that collectively you guys, like, we don't want to set you up to fail, right? We want to make sure we're setting you up to be successful in being able to complete the coursework.
So thank you all for coming. Again, just feel free to email us if anything else comes up, and feel free to share this with your friends as well. I'll be posting the info session on that website that was linked to here earlier. So if you think you have friends that want to join the course, go ahead and share this to them. Okay, thank you guys. Have a good day.